Yes, we are live.
Good evening, viewers. GDSC UCR is live again, and today's session is about much awaited topic getting started with web development. This is the domain most widely explored by computer and software engineers. We all give it a shot once at least during our journey of learning and building software. Therefore, if you think you are the future web developer or you have already achieved expertise, this session is for you. Without further ado, I'd like to introduce today's speaker, Rohan Kulkarni. He is a CSE third year student at SITS Pune and current software development intern at Cloudware. Over to you, Rohan. You're welcome.
Yeah, good evening everyone. So let me share my screen. Yeah, just confirm is my screen visible. And I would like to thank GDSC UCR and Aman for giving this opportunity to conduct this workshop on web development. I hope you all will enjoy this workshop and will get something new to learn in this. Okay, so let's start with web development. In this today's workshop, we will learn that what exactly web development is, how you can be a web developer, and what roadmap should you follow. Okay, so if you are having any doubts, you can just put that in chat box so we can get that you are not getting some point. But let's start. Okay, so this will be our agenda for today's workshop. We will know that what exactly web development is, then we will have a look at HTML and CSS. After that, we will build one demo website page and deploy it on GitHub. After completing all this part, we will have a dedicated question and answer session. In that in that question and answer section, you can ask some doubts regarding web development or anything you want to. Okay, so let me introduce myself. I am a third year computer science student from SITS Pune, and currently I'm a software developer intern at Cloudware Solutions. I joined Cloudware Solutions as a React developer. I am a full stack web developer with a JavaScript background and also a cross platform mobile developer. Okay, so what is web development? How many of you know that what is web development? Exactly what web developer does while learning or doing web development? Let me know in chat. Okay, so basically, web development is a field of a computer science in which developers learn some programming languages or scripting languages, and while learning that, they are focused to building websites or web apps. These apps can be hosted on some platforms, and we can create links through that, and that will be helpful to share some data like landing pages are there, or some multiple products have their own website, like streaming platforms are there, platforms are there. All these come under web development. So if you think defining web development is the building and maintenance of websites and web apps. So which languages are majorly used in web development? In front end web development, majorly HTML, CSS, and JavaScripts are used as a basic. And HTML is known as a skeleton of an web page. CSS is known for its designing, and JavaScript is known for its functional part. So we will have a look at how we can structure our page using HTML, how we can style our page using CSS, and how we can add some functionality in that page so our page can be responded. So before diving into web development, let's understand how does the web works. So basically, every web has some client and some server. Like for example, we use google.com. So our PC or our mobile is our client, and the server which is hosted at Google's office, that is our server. So what exactly happens if, for example, we search for something like chat gpt in google search bar. So what happens, the our client, that is the browser, takes the client gpt word as an object or data to google server, and from that we get a request. Sorry, from that we get a response that is known as an API response, and such the cycle is completed and the data is received on the client side. So this is the server cycle. The client sends the request to the server and server sends the response to the client. So this is how the web works. So now we will build landing page using HTML and CSS. Let me show you what we are building. We will be building this website. Why we Just a minute. I have selected a web design, like it's a small and simple HTML page which we can build easily with help of HTML and CSS. Why we will be building website? Because I prefer that rather than learning the theory, it will be helpful to do the practical demonstration of building a website. Because majorly, if we see about theory, you will get all the theory on W3 School or MDN documentation. That is easily available in any video, but this experience will not be available for you. So I guess this is more helpful. So we will be building this website today. This is the image. We will build this hero section, and after that, these official partners of this company. These two sections we will be building today. I hope it sounds great to you. Okay, so we will start by setting up our project. We will create a folder here and we will name it as landing page. Let's see GDSC UCER demo. Okay, I will open this folder into VS Code. Just let me know, Shivani, is my VS Code visible now?
Yes, it's visible.
Okay, great. And also let me know if anyone is having any doubts and I need to change my font set and all these things. Okay, so let's start with building our project. In this project, we will be having two files. Basically, we will only have one file because what we will do rather than using plain CSS, I will show how we can use Tailwind CSS. But initially, I will show that how we can link the plain CSS file with the HTML. So let's start by creating our file index.html. Why we are naming it as an index? Because this is the starting point of our website. And while hosting it on GitHub pages, the GitHub pages require that one file should be named of index.html, which will be starting point of our project. So let's create also index.css. You can name anything, like there is no particular restrictions, but you can name anything. And VS Code provides a default snippet which we can use by pressing shift and exclamation mark. So as you can see the emit abbreviation, we will be using this, and let's add GDSC UCER landing page, or let's say demo. Okay. So now what we need to do, you need to go into this extension tab and install the extension that is live server.
Rohan, can you please increase the font size? That will be great.
Yes, a little bit
Yeah, is it okay
bigger.
now?
Yes, it's fine.
And should I change to light mode or is dark mode visible?
No, dark
That
mode
will
is
be good, I
visible.
guess, if you can.
Sorry.
Yeah, it is still visible, Rohan.
Okay, just give me a minute. I'll change it. Is it visible now?
Yes, it's visible.
Okay, great. So what you need to do, you need to install this live server extension. So why we need this extension? As you can see, this extension is used to as a local development server. Basically, what in normal steps we do the write the HTML file, then we can save it and then open it. But we are unable to see the live changes which we made in this file. So this live server extension helps us to see the live changes, like it is known as the hot reload. So let's start the server by, when you install this extension, you can just go to the bottom bar and there you can see the go live option. From that, you can start the extension. As you can see, the extension is started here. Okay, so for example, if you want to check hot reload, let me type h1 hello GDSC UCER. So when I save this file, it will be reflected to this web page also. Got it. So this is why the live server extension is helpful for us. Now what we will do, we will start building our page. We will build the basic outline of page, but let me first explain you what this page is all about. Like what the elements are there. So when you look at any HTML file, the whole file is divided into two parts. That is the head part and the body part. The body part is the part which is displayed on this website, and the head part is the hidden part which contains the data regarding the website, but it is not displayed. So as you can see, the title, it is not displayed on this bottom section, but it is displayed in the tab. So if you change the title here at demo landing page, the tab title will be changed. So I'll have a look at this point. When I save this file, the title gets changed. So this is the thing. And for example, if you want to change the icon, that there is a globe around there, that is known as the fav icon. So when we say link fav icon, and in href, we need to provide the path of that fav icon. So for example, I provide some random path, which is my image. So you can see that how that fav icon changes. Okay, now keep an eye on this globe. When I save this, the fav icon changes and it is replaced by my image. So this is how you can make changes to the head section. Initially, you don't need to grab your head on this section because it's majorly regarding the metadata. Metadata is a data regarding the website which is not visible to the general user unless and until you run some inspect or something. Okay, so now we will make changes to these files. Like h1, what is h1? H1 is the heading element. There are 6 heading elements in HTML, and paragraph is also an element where we can write text. So for example, we need to write 100 words, like it is a 100-word paragraph. Okay, so as you can see, the 100 words appear here. Now we will play with CSS with these words, or let me add some image also. Okay, I will provide the same path, which is my image, so it will be easy for us. I will explain that how these things are working. Okay, so yes, we are having 2 to 3 elements. That is, first element is h1 tag, second element is paragraph tag, and third element is image tag. Okay, so now what h1 tag is doing? H1 is the heading of this document. Then paragraph. Paragraph is a text which is means it is also text, but it's not heading. Okay, paragraph means the normal paragraph which we write on our notebooks or something. The analogy is kind of similar there. And in the image tag, what we are displaying the image. So what is this? This is the URL from where the image is getting fetched. For example, if we open this URL into another tab, the same image we will get here. Got it. So this image is getting loaded here. So this is how the HTML works. Like in the image element, we need to provide the tag, that is this URL. And from that URL, the image will get fetched. Now let's link CSS. Like what is our CSS file name? That is index.css. Every CSS file is linked in the header. Here you can see the link CSS option. What we need to do, we need to provide the path in href. What is href? Href is a reference. We need to provide dot backslash. Why dot backslash? Because these both files are in same folder. Now, for example, we created a folder that is CSS, and we put this file into CSS folder. Okay, now what we need to do, we need to change the path because they are not in same folder now. So what we will do, dot backslash, then css, and then index.css. This is how path works. And for example, now we need to change the color of this hello GDSC UCR. So in CSS, we target the HTML element by 2 types, 2 to 3 types. The easiest type are class, by targeting class, and by targeting ID. So what we can do, we can write the class for this heading. Class is kind of an identifier which helps us to target the HTML element in CSS or JavaScript files. For example, we will write this class as heading. Okay, and make sure that multiple elements in HTML can have same class, but multiple elements in HTML cannot have same IDs. ID is a unique property and only one element can have an ID. Okay, so what we will do, we will target the class in the CSS file now. And how are class targeted? With using dot. Like we will write dot heading here, and now we can write the CSS for that particular heading. Now what we will do, we will write color as red. Okay. So as you can see, the color of that heading element is changed. Now, for example, we need to increase the font. So font size, we can run, there are multiple units, large, larger, and we can also specify in dimensions. Like we want 10 inches, the font should be. So it will be 10 inches like that. And now, for example, we want to change the height of the image. So what we will do, how we can target as an element. So what we can do, we can just write image here, and the height will be 10 pixel. Okay, so you can see the image is small now. But what issue is with this targeting element? Even if we are having any other image, the both images will be of same size. Now, if I want one image big and one image small, then I need to target it using ID or class. That's why it is preferable to always target with ID or class rather than targeting with element. Okay, I hope the basic CSS, how we can link CSS here, how we can add an HTML file, all that things are clear. And now we will be learning about Tailwind CSS. That is a different type of CSS. It is a CSS library which provides us these classes. With help of these classes, we can style our HTML file. We don't need to maintain this plain CSS file. I hope that's clear and it's going well, Shivani.
Yes, it's clear. Yes, yes.
Okay. So what I
Yeah.
will do, I will delete the HTML file now and we will set up for Tailwind CSS. Okay. Now what we can do, we can go on our browser and write Tailwind CSS. What is Tailwind CSS? Let's have a look. It is a rapidly built modern website without ever leaving your HTML. Means what it is doing, as you can see this class attribute. We are writing all our CSS in our HTML file only. How this will help? We don't need to navigate to CSS file to check that whether what CSS is applied to particular element. Because when the HTML pages grow, multiple CSS classes are there, IDs are there. We don't need to keep in mind that this particular element is having this class and under this class this styling is applied. So our memorizing capacity will reduce once there are multiple classes and it will create confusion. That's why this Tailwind CSS is helpful, because all the element are having their styles there itself. We can just get a look at what style they are using. Now let's have a setup. So if you don't have Node, first you need to install Node. How you can install Node? If you are having Windows, then you can just go to this website, that is nodejs.org. I will put this in chat. So you just put this site on YouTube chat also. So what you can do, you can install the Node as per your system, that is Linux or Windows, anything. After installing Node, you need to install this Tailwind CSS. So let's follow the installation which is given on the official website. That is, let's copy and install Tailwind. I will open terminal. Let's paste this. Till that Tailwind CSS is getting installed on our project or our system, let me know if anything you need to clear or any doubts are there. Okay, so the file is created. This is our file. What we need to do, uh, okay, now we need to configure our template paths. Why we need to do this? Because Tailwind CSS is something which is analyzing our HTML files or CSS files and then creating a plain CSS by default for us. Means plain CSS is not getting replaced, but a new file is creating with the help of this Tailwind library. So what we need to do now, we need to tell the content that just check every file in this project directory. What you can do, you can just add our specific file also. This will also work. What we have provided the path of index.html file in this content thing. Okay. Now what we will do, we will create a different file that is input.css. Okay. Now in CSS we will create a file input.css, and one more file will be there, that is output.css. Now with the help of this input file and the output file, our HTML file will be getting styled. Okay, in input file we will paste these three things, and from where I am getting this, I am getting this from the original documentation itself. Now let's start the Tailwind CLI build process. Why we need to start this process? Because as you can see, we are using Tailwind CSS and this is installed. So what this is doing, from the input CSS, this is taking these three directives, and the CSS is getting created in our output CSS file. Okay. So what we need to link the output CSS file with the HTML, so our HTML elements can get which styles are used. Now I will run the process. Okay, I need to change the paths of the input and output file. No issues. Let me copy it and paste it into VS Code. Now what I need to do, I need to provide the path that is CSS backslash input CSS and CSS backslash output CSS. Okay. As you can see, Tailwind server is running. Now what we need to do, we need to link the output file into our HTML document, that is link CSS and dot backslash CSS backslash output dot CSS. Okay. Now let's try that is our Tailwind setup done, or we need to debug something. Let's add a heading tag that is h1 and write hello UCER. Okay. Now let's add a class name here. Why class name? Because in Tailwind it is suggested to add a class names here. Now for using Tailwind CSS, there is one extension which is beneficial. When in the VS Code extensions, you need to write Tailwind IntelliSense. What this extension is providing, this extension is providing the suggestions for the Tailwind classes. Okay, so make sure you install these extensions, unless if you are not installed, the suggestions will not be visible like this. Okay, now what we will do, we will let's try, is our Tailwind setup done. We will change the color, that is text red 500. So this property is used to change the color to 500 red. Okay, something issue is there. This happens when we install Tailwind, so we will restart the boot. Let's check every file here. Works. Now we will go into this thing and change the font size, that is text to large to Excel. As you can see, the changes are getting done, but they are not restored. Let me figure out. Okay, so this is because I have written class name there. That's because I am used to with React, but in HTML, in plain HTML, we just need to use a class. Okay, as you can see, the changes are done, and we can increase the font size up to 9XL or 10XL. The font size is getting increased. Okay, So our Tailwind setup is done and we are ready to build our website. So let's open the image which we are going to use. What I will do, I will copy the asset folder in this particular project, so that will helpful for us. Just give me a minute. Okay, so we have copied our asset folder. Now let's see that what things we need to build there. So as you can see, this is a section. Like this part is known as a section, hero section. So we will build this. When let me open a whiteboard. I will show that how the HTML page is structured. Okay, so while building website, when you analyze this kind of website, the whole page you need to divide into small components. And for example, if you consider this website is divided into basically two big parts. That is, this part contains the text and this part contains the image. Okay, got it. So let's code these things first, and after this image the website is again divided into small parts. Okay, as you can see, Shivani, is my screen visible? Like, is it perfectly visible?
Yes, yes, it's visible.
Okay, so in this left box, in this part there is a heading. After that there is a small text and there are two buttons. So this is how we need to structure our document, and this structuring is done with the help of HTML. And after structuring we will style this, and in this below bar, like you can see that there is some text and the company logos are included here. Okay, so this is how we will work on our web structure. So these are two parts. This is first part and this is second part. We will call this part as in sections. Okay, please ignore the handwriting. We will call this as section. Section is an element. Section element is used to structure the HTML page into different parts. Okay, so this is first section, this is second section, and these small components we call it as a div. Div, you can consider it as a box within a HTML language. Okay, and here we will be using paragraphs. Paragraph, this paragraph, and these are buttons. Okay, I will show how these buttons looks like, and this is our image. IMG. So now what we will do, we will create this section first, and in that section we will be having two divs, or we can say one div and one image. And in that first div we will be having two paragraph tags and two buttons, and this button will also be an in a div. Why in a div? Because we need to style this. Okay, so now let's start building this. What we have two sections. Okay, first section and second section. In first section we are having, let me check, we are having one div and one image. Okay, let's add div and image. I'm having the image file also. Let's add dot backslash assets and mobile dot png, from where I am getting this file. So as you can see, this is the image file. Okay, please ignore if it's not exact. And now what we will do, in this div we will create two paragraphs. That is, first is for heading. What is heading? Let's put this line. Okay, heading is portfolio performance. Portfolio performance tracking made easy. Okay, this is how you will type in HTML files. And second paragraph, that is a large text, we will write it as an lorem 50. It will be large. Lorem 20. Perfect. So these are two things, and let's deal with the button later. And in next part, after designing this stuff, we will deal with buttons. Okay, and we will not code this navbar because it will take some time as the product is having the drop down options, all that things. We will code this whole screen and the below screen. Okay, and now you can see here. When I refresh the page, it's not loading. Let me check here. Why is it happening? Okay, our live server is closed. Got it. So as you can see, the every text is appeared here. Now what we need to do, we need to design it as per our layout. Where is our whiteboard? Okay. So we need to design this as per our this layout. Where is the hand? Yeah. Okay. Let's Okay, now let's consider this as a section. So in this section, there are two boxes which are aligned horizontally. But in our document, everything is aligned in vertical mode. Like for example, if I show you these boxes, like let's color this div class BG, let's color it as in red, faint red. Okay, as you can see, the box appeared there. And let's add the same color to the image also. Okay, just let it add red 300. As you can see, the two boxes are aligned horizontally, sorry, vertically. Now we need to align them horizontally as per our design. So what we will do in this section, we will add a class that is flex. Got it? So by default, the behavior of flex is row, and rows are aligned horizontally. To be more specific, let's add a flex row. Okay. Now we need to align this whole section page to width of 100%. Or let's align the content to center. So what we will do, justify center, and you can see after justify center, align middle. So these are all flex properties. Like flexbox is a method with the help of flexbox we style the HTML, like all these boxes, and we can align them into our HTML page. Okay, so now what we will do, we will align this as a flex row. Flex row, justify center. As you can see, when we do justify center, the whole box is shifted into center, and if you do justify end, the whole box will shift into end. Okay, justify center and align item to middle. When we do align item to middle, the box will be aligned to middle. Now it is in the middle. Why it is in middle? Because the body is having height of fit. Now what we will do, we will give it to height of 3. Means the height of the body will be as per to screen. Or else let's do one thing, let's give this height of screen, h screen. Okay, so now as you can see, the whole object is occupied by the screen, but that's not important. Now let's increase the size of our font, that is our heading. Let's keep it as 5 XL. Okay, the size is increased. I guess this is perfect. And now the width to 50% or 75%. 3 by 4 means 75% of the width. As you can see, when we do that, the easy, that is the one word which comes down. I will show you that how the width is changing. We will change the background color to white. As you can see, the background color, if we do the width to 1 by 2, the total width changes and it is reduced to half. I guess this is perfect. Let's add the space between the lines that we can do using leading. Leading 4 will be better. Let's add normal, set roots. Okay, this is the heading. Let's is better. And we can change the font to bold. That is, we need to write font and then bold. Okay. Now same, we will style this paragraph also. This paragraph we will give text of 2XL. This will be large bit. Let's see how it works. It's bit large. Let's give it normal only. Yes. Okay. And the width of this text will be, let me see image. The width is 100%, but let's keep it to 3 by 4. That is 75%. Okay. Oops. So this is how our whole page is looking. Now what we will do, we will wrap these two paragraphs into one more div. So this will help us to align it more better. So in HTML, all these things are wrapped into one or another element. So that's why we say HTML as a structural language. And we will do this justify center, align middle. Now we need to align these two divs. Let's remove the backgrounds so it will be clear for us. Let's add a class here. The class is flex column, because we need the vertical alignment here, and then align to middle. Justify to center. Let's check background, which box we are targeting. We are targeting this big box. Now we need to provide a height for this box. Let's provide a height of 100 or screen. So as you can see, this text is in middle now. Let's remove the background. Okay. You can see the text is getting styled as per our image. So let me add some reading. Okay, so I guess this works. Now let's adjust the height and width of our image, because it's getting destroyed now. Let's fix the height. That is, H will be, how much height will be okay? I guess 80% will be perfect. Yes, it's looking good now. Or else let's do H fit, because it will give us the original height. Now what we need to do, we need to align this image. Now, align self we will use. That is, place self at center. Okay, what happened? The image is now center of the whole box. Now let's deal with this division box, that is our text box, so we can align it somehow. This is our box. Let's see which background is this. Okay, this is our whole box now. Now what we need to do, we need to provide the it's normal. Okay, this works. Now let's add the space between our two paragraphs, that is the heading and the next paragraph. We can do that with the help of adding gap. We can add the gap of 4 there. As you can see, when we add the gap of 4, the paragraph and the title gets shifted. If we add 8 there, then the more space will be provided. 12. Okay, I guess 12 is perfect now. And is there any doubts up to now? Like, I guess we have designed it pretty much good, as it is similar to our original page. Just one thing we will do. Let's add a margin to this thing, or padding. So this will reduce our gap. 40 or 36. This is better. Padding left 36 and padding right 36. I will explain why this padding is there. For justify center, we can write justify between also. Justify evenly. This is better. Okay, let me know in chat any doubts are there. Okay, so this is our original image. I guess it is looking kind of similar. We are not having this background because the image is means I have cropped the image. That's why. But the major thing is this styling and this placement. So let's try to make it more perfect. As you can see that there is a certain gap between these two things. But what we can do is we can increase the font size a bit, or let's reduce the gap between these two images. Okay, let's increase the font size by a bit. Like our text is having our heading is having a font of 5 XL. Let's go to 7 XL. Let's see how it looks. And the width rather than half, let's go to 3 by 4. Okay, I guess it's looking good now. Or rather than 7, let's go to 6. And width of 1 by 4. These are the things which you need to change while doing the stylings. These are not anything perfect, like for styling these things you need to write this style only, and for writing that it's nothing specific. But how you can learn about these classes is you can go to the Tailwind site, and from there you can get references. Yes, Shivani, do you want to add something?
Rohan, can we reduce the gap between the heading and the image?
Just show me
Can the
this gap now.
space,
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
the
Uh,
space.
yeah, we are doing the same now.
Okay.
Okay, so yeah, you can go on to Tailwind documentation, and here you can get that how these classes will style into different sections. Okay, now let's reduce this gap between two screens. I am also coding this first time. No code is provided side by, or I am copying from somewhere. So let's see how we can do. How I will do is now I will check that which box it's belong to. Now let's see
But
which
it's
box.
really surprising that in 40 minutes you created an almost replica of the website. It's really appreciative.
Yeah, thank you. Now let's see which box gap we need to style. Okay. Now this is a slate 100. So this is the whole container. But we are having these two divs in this container. That is the first div and the second div, which is our image. So we need to reduce the gap between these two divs. How we can do that? Flex row, justify center. Now we need to change it, and we need to change it to justify around. Okay. Let's see, the gap is not reduced yet. I guess that's because we are having some margin here. Let's see this box. Okay, as you can see, the margin is provided here. So we will reduce the width to fit. Or what we can do, let's provide a specific width here, that is 96. As you can see, the whole width reduced by 28. We are playing with the CSS now. Yeah, I guess this is perfect. So let's reduce it more. The maximum size is the maximum size, that is 96. Okay, let's fit to 96, but it's too small. We need to try some other alternative. What we can do, we can add the padding to left of this whole box, that can be 48. So this will reduce the space between the image and the whole thing. So the thing what we did is we don't need to add the padding here. We need to add padding to this view. That is to padding left only, not to right. And the whole padding, we missed something. Let us go back. Yeah, this is the thing. We will copy this and add the padding to the second div, that is the inner div, and the gap is bit reduced. Now what we'll do, we'll remove the padding of right. Yes, it's bit reduced now. We will add more padding, that is 48. It is getting closer. But we need to reduce the borders of this whole div, that is the black div. Let's add the margin padding to 0. Okay, now this is the thing of flexbox. We need to play with flexbox here, and the flex we will justify to center. Click the flex column, item center, or align item centers, align item middle. Okay, let me check how it is working. And there is also an inspect tool here. From the inspect tool, you can get how exactly the website is performing. Okay, if you hover over this particular thing, we can understand that the whole website is divided into different boxes. Got it? So this is our the bigger section tab, and after that we are having two divs here, and in that div again small components are getting divided. Okay. So yes, let's change some CSS from the HTML inspect tab only and find why the space is there. So this is the whole background, and we have added the flex row, justify around, and align middle. Then there is a padding of right and left. Okay, let's try increasing this padding. Let's go with 48. As you can see that as we increase the padding, the size is getting reduced. Let's remove the width there and see what happens. Okay, so now it's taking its full width and it is nearby, but we don't want this. We want the width to be small. So what we can do, we can reduce the width of this whole div to 1 by 2. That is, we are reducing the second div to half of its width. W to 1 by 2. Okay, or let's do it 3 by 4. That is more better. We can do it to 60% also. Let's find which option is better. As you can see, there are multiple options, and in this column, it is visible that what width we are showing there. Okay, so 75 and 50%. We need to find the between option, that is 60%, 3 by 5. But what is happening? The width is getting changed, but it is specific to our inner div. We don't want to change the inner div, we want to change the outer div. Okay, as you can see, the width is reduced and also the image has came closer. Now what we will do, rather than around, we will align it to center. Okay, as you can see, the image distance between the image and the mobile is reduced. We will remove this light thing. Now it will be clear more. And now let's change the width to 75%. 3 by 4, sorry. Let's reduce font a little bit. 6XL. I hope it's perfect now. Let's remove the background white and the background of this slide also. Okay. So yeah, this is the thing. Now let's remove, let's make it to 3 by 4 or what we have done. Yeah, this was 3 by 4 and this also. The next paragraph, that is 3 by 4. Okay, 3 by 4 means the whole width that is occupied by this paragraph is 75% of the whole box. Okay, so I guess this is pretty much similar to what we have on our image. Now what we will do, we will add these two buttons. We will not add the inner text, but we will just add two black buttons now. We will create one more div here. In that div, we will add two buttons. Okay, one will be Google or let's add a Apple and Google. Let's play with this. Second button, that is Google. Okay. Let me see, are the buttons visible there? Yeah, they are visible, but they are visible in the bottom section. So what we will do, we will remove, copy this div and paste into this div. So it will come up. Yeah. Now what we will do, we will style these two buttons in the same style. Before styling these two divs, let's add the class to this, that is flex row. And after row, let's add a gap that is of 4. This will it add the space between the two buttons. Okay. Now we will style the buttons. That is class bg color to black, and let's add some padding here. Padding is means the space between the content and the border. Okay, and margin means the space outside the border. As you can see, the padding is increased. There is some width. Now we will change the border radius, that is rounded. Okay, border radius means the radius or the curvature, you can say. In Tailwind CSS, you just specify the value, that is rounded large. I guess let's give it more. Rounded to Excel will also work. Rounded Excel. And what we can do else, let's write the text color, that is white, because the background color is black. Let's refresh. Okay, I hope it works. We can make more changes to this, but as we are not having so much time, so let's move on to the second section, that is the company thing. I will show how we can align 5 images. What I will do, I will just pick this image section. I will copy this image element and place it in the second section. So in second section, what we need to do, we need to add 2 divs. That is, one div is for images and one is for the text. I will copy this, and I have attached 5 images in the asset folder. I will also provide the asset folder. In asset, let's take example of assets backslash C1. As of now, let's add the same image 5 times. Okay. Now what we will do, we will also add the tag like our company, something like that. Now in this section, what we need to do, we need to add, means our alignment is flex column, because we need to align the atoms in a horizontal, vertical mode, sorry. So flex column, and the justify item, sorry, align item will be middle, because we need all the boxes should be in the middle of the document page. Let me see, is that added? Yes, as you can see, those things are getting added here. Now what I will do, I will change the class of this thing to flex row, and change the justify content to center. See, just when I save the changes, all the vertical alignment will change to horizontal. Okay, I hope that's clear for you now. And what we need to do, we need to change this thing, like we need to text center, because we want the this text to be center of the documents. Okay, why it's taking time? Because Tailwind CSS is repeating. As you can see, repeating, it is appearing here. So after it's done, the changes will be reflected. We can reload. I hope this is clear. Let's add some background so we can distinguish this section, like background slate 100. I hope this works. Let's add some padding, that is padding of 1 rem. So there will be some gap between this text and the borders. Let's double it, because we will be able to clearly distinguish that thing. I hope that's cool. Now let's add some gap between the images and our company text. Gap 8. Let's restart the Tailwind server because it's taking some time to build. So if Tailwind server is taking time, you can just restart the server anytime. Now what I will do, I will replace the images C1, C2. This is the images, just any images you can replace with C3 and C5. Okay. Now what we need to do, we need to spread the all images in the given area. Like what's its currently it is currently at the center. Now to get this box, like how this box looks, we will see. So this is our section, background white. Okay. Now what we will do, rather than justify center, we will do it justify around. So all the images will be aligned specifically. Got it? Or you can do justify between also. This is a spacing technique. There is justify between. You will see the difference, like how it happens in between the space. All the spaces in between, not at the borders. And if we do evenly, then all the space will be aligned evenly between the images and the corners. I guess this is a better one. Okay, let's increase the size of our company text. That is text Excel. We can do with. Okay. I hope this sounds pretty similar to our image. What do you say, Shivani?
Yes, it is quite similar.
Yeah, more changes we can add, like we can add the button here and we can change the text inside button. We can add navbar. These things we can do. But I guess this is all, like, let's summarize that what elements we used in this particular code. And also let's host this. For hosting this, let's summarize first. So this is a section element. There are two section elements. Okay, the one section element is for our company section and one section element for the hero section. In hero section, we have used div. Div is kind of a box is, for the HTML structure. We have used headings. We have used button. These are the basic HTML elements which we need to create the structure. Now let's host this website on GitHub. So this is not required to it's like follow up, or if you don't get, it's not related to web development, but it is a very good to know that how we can host a project on GitHub. So now let's create a folder on GitHub first. Okay, now I will initial a commit. I'm creating a repository on GitHub. Let's publish the branch. That will be a public repository. Any one of you can come to this repository and see the code. No issues. Now let me open that file on GitHub. So this is our repository. Now let's host it. Settings, GitHub pages, deploy from main branch, select branch master, save. Now the GitHub page will be hosted. Let's wait for some time, so till that the page will be hosted and we will be able to see our changes. Till that, if any doubts are there, feel free. Let me check from slides that if anything is remaining. So yes, we are doing the deployment and this is a thank you slide. Yes, everything is done. I hope every one of you enjoyed this.
I'm sure viewers have really enjoyed. This was just so informative and seeing a practical building up and deployment of the website.
Yeah, as you can see, the GitHub pages are getting deployed, so we will wait for some time until the deployment goes. Yes, it is ready. Let's view the deployment. So this is how the website is looking now, and I can also share this link with you people. Make sure you open this on desktop because we have not done the responsiveness. Let me know if you like to have session on responsiveness, because we can do that very easily with the help of Tailwind CSS. I will show you my one website which I have done with the help of Tailwind CSS, and it is completely responsive. So this will help you to understand that how powerful Tailwind CSS is. Shivani just dropped the link into our YouTube chat, which I have shared in private messages. Okay, so this is my one website which I have built with the help of Tailwind CSS. Now, if we reduce the responsiveness, what responsiveness means? It means that how the website is visible on all devices like mobile, laptop, etc. For example, if we reduce the screen size, still the website is visible clearly. It's not overlapping. And for example, if we made the responsiveness to our current website, so this is how it's not responsive yet. So this is the difference in responsive website and non-responsive website. You can view it to any size, as small as possible. The content will not overlap. So this is the thing that how responsiveness matters, and it is very helpful skill to survive in industry, that you are able to build the responsive websites and create a website using the latest frameworks or the frameworks which are used by industry. As when you go to the Tailwind CSS page, you will be able to see that this framework is used by multiple companies nowadays. So yeah, this was all about today's workshop. If you want to get have any doubts, feel free to drop this at my message or email anywhere, and you can scan this code, or I will drop the link from where you can get connected with me.
Thank you
Yeah,
so
this was
much,
all
Rohan,
from my side.
for connecting with us. It was really very nice of you to find the time from your busy schedule and help us with this session. I'm sure users must have found it really informative and useful.
Yeah, and thank you, Aman and GDSC UCER and Shivani for hosting me for this wonderful workshop. I hope every one of you learned something new. And yes, let's get connected with on some another topic on some different day.
Sure, sure. Thank you so much.